You all please sit straight. Please close your eyes. Let us chant Om 3 times together. Om. 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 Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Gurave Namaha. I bow to God. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation. Om. Amen. It is by the grace of God and Sri Gurudev we all have assembled in this holy place to commemorate the 50th year of Sri Gurudev's coming to West. So, In the previous discussion, we discussed a little bit about India and its culture. Do you know one simple thing? In the ancient time, most of the teachers were not moving. Disciples were moving. It is said the disciples are like the bees and teachers are like the flower. Madhu lubdha yatha bhrungaha puspat puspantaram brajet jnana lubdha tatha shishyaha guroho gurvantaram brajet. Just like a bee in quest of honey moves from flower to flower, similarly in quest of truth, a seeker goes from guru to guru. Unfortunate is the modern time when there is plenty of informations, mostly useless, and there is scarcity of real seriousness and desire for transformation, mostly superficial. You might like it or not. You just think, Lord Krishna was born in Mathura, grew up his childhood in Gokul, and he came to study at the age of 11, where? To Ujjain in central India during those days. Just you think, didn't Babaji Maharaj had the ability just to come and sit near Sri Lahiri Mahasaya and tell that I am your Guru, I am now here, learn and meditate? Why did he create all these, drama, transferring him in a very typical way to Ranikhet and calling him to the cave? The desire should be created in the heart of the seeker. The seeker is seeking. The time has changed. What has happened to us? We are all coffee table seekers. We want to learn Vedanta, study Vedanta. Do you know how? Having a cup of coffee in one hand, sitting on the sofa, opening the television or computer and listening to talk. The gurus are cheap and disciples are, not to say. This is what is happening in the modern world. Unfortunate. Where is the Indian culture or the Vedic culture when the disciple went searching for the teacher? Hard work, not easygoing. Suppose announcement for initiation. When I went first time to West, it was really more shocking to me to see what is going on in the spiritual market of spirituality. It is all market, commercialization. This is spirituality. This is Vedic culture. But time has changed. What the master should do, looking at the change of time, change in the quality of the seekers, the masters have changed their lifestyles also. Why did Sri Gurudev decide to go to West? Very simple question. Was it his decision or he just the disciple? The relationship is a relationship of fulfillment. It is a relationship of fulfillment that the Guru comes with a purpose and disciples fit there with that purpose. Let us think. Let us think of Sri Gurudev. Before going a little bit deeper, I will tell you one thing. How many of us have read autobiography of Yogi? Raise up your hands. Still, there are quite a few those who have not read. In West, it's a very common thing. Most of the people, they have read autobiography of Yogi. Now, when autobiography of Yogi is not read by so many, as I asked you, if I ask how many of you have read Sri Gurudev's life? Raise up your hands. Finish. From this, it is clear that how sincere we are if we do not know the Guru and we are on the path. Do you know? I'm telling from the life of a modern saint. A disciple came to him and he found that his Guru is cleaning his own plate after lunch. He bowed down and he asked, I want to follow you. He said, first you should live with me. You should see me, I should see you. You should like me, I should like you. Then there will be a decision to follow or not. Modern times, people run looking at the internet, some information, and how is the information? Realization in 30 days. Instant realization, and so on. All this, and this is happening. Do you know, it was few years ago, not few, quite a few years ago. Internet was new. One day I was standing in the office room of one of our ashrams in West. I told you, this is the modern times. There are many new types of yoga would come up. They looked at me, few in the office. I said, new names of yoga will come up. People will try to market their own yoga. They looked at me, is it so? Yoga is old. Old wine in new bottle, new package, new marketing. So new forms of yoga. One disciple came to me. He is very sincere disciple, very loving, but he came with a funny idea. He said, Baba, I have come to you to take your blessing. I said, what? He said, I have developed a series of yoga exercises. It's just exercises. I said, yes, I want to use your name. I said, my name means Prajna Yoga. Just with that name, I want to market this yoga. I said, I'm sorry, Prajna is not my name. And Prajna is a Sanskrit word. It is up to you, but don't put my photo there. You write Prajna Yoga or whatever yoga. Do you know? Even a donkey has its own followers. If you find a donkey is going, somebody is following the donkey, the owner. So if a donkey has a followers, why not any intelligent person could create some followings? In the office room of the ashram, I was talking about the new brand names of yoga, trademark, and so on. Then they looked at me curiously. I also didn't know what I was talking. It came to me, I was talking. Just like sitting near you, now I'm talking like wise person. Then I told there will be some laughing yoga. I said, laughing yoga? I said, yes, there will be laughing yoga. There was a disciple sitting in the office room, immediately clicked. And he found laughing yoga. For the first, I also never heard about laughing yoga. But then there was also a video clip. To laugh. Laughing is good thing. Laugh, very good. Smile, very, very good. But one thing you should remember, don't laugh at others. Unfortunately, we laugh at others. I told somewhere recently, a very close friend of mine is monk who lives in West. He told his Guruji told him. His Guruji told him that whatever scriptures you studied from me is enough. That is enough for everybody to teach. They don't need too much of serious thinking or topic. You read lots of jokes. If you have mastery over jokes, and if you are able to communicate jokes in a joking way, loving way, you will have a good following. They will come for the jokes, not for the. They will come for the packing, not for the content. And nowadays it is going on. I listened to a holy man. I listened to him 3 times. 3 times means not 3 classes. 2 times the complete Bhagavatam, 1 times complete Valmiki Ramayana. It was traditional way of 7 days, 9 days. So it is total 26 days I listened to him. Do you know how many hours he was talking? Morning 8 till 12 o'clock. Afternoon 4 till 8 o'clock. 8 hours a day, pin drop silence. And no musical instruments, no humor or jokes, nothing. Just the scripture in its own way. And it was my feeling, listening to him, for those 8 hours a day, he took you to such a state as if you are there at the time of Lord Krishna or Lord Rama. He was not looking at the audience. He was just closing his eyes, he was talking. Sometimes tears will be rolling down and he will have a towel to wipe up tears. Very rarely he chanted, and with the context. For example, he's talking about Prahlada. So Prahlada is telling his friends, let us chant. So at that time he chanted a little. No instrument, nothing. 8 hours a day. The purpose of telling this modern times, and we are modern students, and unfortunately, I am not a modern teacher. What to do? However, when I came to my master, I wanted to know more about him. Nothing available. Nothing available to know about him. But I have the desire to know. Do you know what happened? I listened from him, not in public. When we were alone, he spoke something about his life. And that's what I listened to him. Then I became more curious to know. I saw his family members, his elder brother, his sisters-in-laws, his sisters, nephews. From them I heard. Not only that, I heard from many those who knew him for a long period of time. I heard from them. I became more curious. Again, to know more. Do you know what happened? One day Gurudev told me, Bapa, nobody has understood me. This was one evening after evening meditation. If anybody will try to understand me, will be crazy. But you have understood 5%, and that is enough. That was his statement. When I sit in presence of you now, when I want to tell about my Gurudev and how much I understood, I will tell that out of grace, he told, I know him 5%. I don't think I know even 1% of him. He told that is enough. It was his grace. But even I want to know more and more, not just knowing his how he got up, what he ate, where he slept, where he traveled, not this much. Really, how he lived. My Gurudev, whom I lived with, I lived not for a long period of time. To be very honest, I lived in an extended period of 21, 22 years, but not staying with him few days in a year. If I sum total those few days, many times I told our residents, those who live in ashram, I told them, you have lived more with me than I lived with him. Although it sounds 22 years I spent my time with him, it's not 22 years. One evening I was with Gurudev. When I was with Gurudev, a disciple entered. He was a very long time disciple of Sri Gurudev and who spent his time with Gurudev when Gurudev was young and he was also young. From 1960s, he had association with Gurudev. He wrote a book. The book will be not so thick like this, little thinner than this. And that book was on Gurudev's table. I didn't know it. That book was written in Odia. Do you know what happened? He came and bowed down. I am standing there. Gurudev picked up that book. He said, you have written this book? He said, yes, Baba. On Hariharananda? He said, yes, Baba. I have never seen Gurudev in that state. That was my first time. I was young. He threw that book like this. It went from his bed, that is in one corner, went up to the wall. Burn this book. Never show this book to anybody. All lies, half-truth, and exhibiting your Guru as a very super person. Your Guru doesn't want this. And hearing his voice and the way he threw the book, and later I found, if at any time your Guru is upset with you, don't look at his face. Keep your face down. However, when the thought in me was there to speak about or to write about Gurudev, and this incident was always in my mind, oh God, if anything is to be written, and this is what he is. Do you know, one day Gurudev visited a disciple's home for the first time. His friends and relatives have come just to have darshan of Gurudev at the time of his arrival. I don't know how many of you have really seen Gurudev physically. Hardly countable in fingers. Not too many here. Gurudev was really, you can't imagine what type of person he was. His presence itself was bringing complete change in the atmosphere.
I have seen him in the train station. I have traveled with him. He goes to work. If the train stops for 5 minutes, 8 minutes, he used to get down and to work. And Sri Gurudev was very, very, very health conscious. Body is getting older, long travel. If you don't move your body, and we were traveling most of the time in the second class, 3 tier. When Gurudev used to walk in the platform, this is my own personal experience. Unknown people, the travelers, the crowd makes the way for him, and people look at him with awe. And some people come to touch his feet. Unknown, nobody knew him. The disciples, the Gurudev came to this disciples' home. Other came and bowed. Then Gurudev was tired. He went to his room, but he overheard those visitors and the host conversation. Do you know? My Guruji doesn't eat anything. Hardly he eats like this. Look at his lustrous face. This, is it so? So those people left, and Gurudev is ready to leave. He is ready with his bag to leave the disciples' home. The disciple is shocked. What happened to you, Baba? He said, I'm sorry, I can't stay here without food. I need food, I need lunch, I need dinner, I need breakfast, I need evening tiffin, I need this, I need that. And he said, yes, Baba, everything is prepared. And I said, no. You told those people that he doesn't eat, he eats so little. And do you know, this is my Gurudev. He really never wanted anything. Let people know this is this. The Chief Minister of Odisha, during those days, it was in 1950s, late 50s, Sri Dayamata was visiting Puri, and there was a satsang. Gurudev was brahmachari, was going to be initiated as monk during those days. It must be during that year. So, satsang, Dayamata is the speaker. The Chief Minister came and sat politely in audience. The meeting was over. In small cup or bowl or leaves, leaves cup, some slices of fruits and one Jagannath Prasad. It was handed over to all the participants of the audience, and Gurudev was distributing. The Chief Minister is there, Gurudev also gave this same. So he stood at one place and he took prasad, he was observing everybody. And somebody came from Dayamata, said that, would you like to see her? I said, no, that's enough. I listened to her, I'm happy. Then he left. After he left, few minutes later, a person from the Chief Minister came to Gurudev and told, the Chief Minister wants to be initiated by you, and tomorrow, and nobody should know it. And Dayamata was living in the ashram. Nobody should know, and he would prefer a special time, very early in the morning, this time to this time. Gurudev agreed. Next day, the Chief Minister came very early in the morning. ashram was almost in, quiet state. The chief minister told Gurudev, I saw your indifference. No special treatment to the chief minister or to this. I heard about you. It was already made up in my mind before to meet you and to get initiation from you. I have collected information about you, about your family, and I saw in my own eyes, I got pleased. I had the opportunity to see that chief minister when he was almost on his deathbed. Sri Gurudev sent me. The purpose of telling this is what our Gurudev is. The same chief minister, when came to Gurudev later and telling him that you should not spend your time in this closed room of the ashram, you should come out. He took Gurudev out of the ashram to public. Let people listen to you. Now, I told Divya Surpananji that you should keep all these books, if it is available, just let people see. You have come to the retreat, and most of you are meditating and you are sincere in your capacity. I'm not telling that you are not sincere. But thing is, when I was hungry about knowing, to know about Gurudev more and more, how I started writing. I am a very good reader. I love to read. It was my dream as a little school boy. When I grow up, what I become, I don't know. But when I grow up, I will be living in a big room. It will be full of books. I will be just sitting and reading and reading and reading. That's all. That was my childhood imagination. When I came to my Gurudev, what he saw in me, I don't know. Every time when he used to come back from West, he used to come back with many different kinds of pens and ball pens. During those days, fountain pen, different types of ball pen. And once he brought one pen, which you can write in darkness. He told you should keep this pen below your pillow and a notebook. Whenever you get a good thought, write it down immediately. Even in dream, you'll have good thought. Get up from dream and write it down. In my own expression, I would say that he created in me how to write, what to write, and so on. And it is true. My personal experience, I am telling. I sit for hours in front of the computer, unable to write a single word. Sometimes I sit, I go on writing, writing, maybe a few thousand words in hours. In hours, not a single word. Honestly telling, who writes? When Sri Gurudev was taken out of the ashram to give talks, two people in Odisha who patronized Gurudev in these activities, and both of them were two prominent personalities in Odisha. As I told you, one was the chief minister, he was a governor. Also, the other one was also a social worker, he was a minister. Both edited two powerful newspapers. Both very respectable people. Both were older in age than Sri Gurudev. Gurudev was coming to Cuttack almost every month to give talks in Theosophical Society. Many intellectuals in Cuttack used to come to listen to him. And always they thought his talks are prepared talks. They thought he speaks very well, maybe he's prepared. One day they invited him without giving any topic. The hall is packed as usual. Gurudev sat on his place to speak. The announcer told, today we want to listen to Swamiji. And during those days, people are addressing him as Swamiji. Swamiji, Brahma Darshan, realization of the absolute. Gurudev said, you all close your eyes. Let us meditate for a few minutes. They closed their eyes, meditated for some time, and Gurudev didn't use clock during those days. It was long before going to West. Gurudev never spoke in Odia ever. That day he started speaking in Odia. Earlier, either Bengali or in English, never in Odia. The talk was over. Everybody was thrilled. One of the editors of the newspaper, he was writing down to put in his newspaper. He told Swamiji, you speak such beautiful Odia. Why did you not speak in Odia before? Gurudev said, did I speak in Odia? I don't know what I spoke. Why I am telling this, speaking about Gurudev, he didn't know in which language we are speaking. He has finished his talk and he spoke in Odia, which was not his mother tongue. And he knew little Odia, but not to give a public talk. The purpose of telling this is our Gurudev or my Gurudev. And he lived life like this. A person came to him and asked him, I have lots of trouble. He was having a government job, an engineer, electrical engineer. His problem in job, his problem in family, and so on. Sri Gurudev was very good, not only in his meditation and spiritual experience, he was also a very good astrologer. He studied astrology from his father. Father was also a good astrologer. To talk about his father, after the birth of every child, he himself made the astrological chart. And he knew what is going to happen to this child. When Sri Gurudev was born, just to tell you, Gurudev was the 10th child of 11 siblings. They were total 11, and Sri Gurudev's number was number 10. Nowadays, people are scared to have more children. And among them is Swami Samarpananandji. Look, when Gurudev was talking about his family in New York City, somebody remarked, India is poor because of this. So many children. Why? Do you know? One among the disciples there, I'm telling in 1970s, nearly 50 years ago, not 50, 48, 47, 48 years ago, who told the other disciple who was criticizing, about India and such large number of family members. He said, if his father would not have the 10th child, what would have happened to us? Would we have got Gurudev? Gurudev's father had 11 children, 6 daughters and 5 sons, 2 doctors, 2 attorneys, advocates. Gurudev, textile engineer during those days. It is not how many children we have. It is how we raise them up. What type of education we give. I take you a little bit in a different way. Gurudev is observing silence, meditating, 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 meditating. He achieved all these states. Still he is observing silence, not talking. Swami Satyanandji, Gurudev's Gurudev, he was present in ashram. Coincidentally, Gurudev's father was there in Kodar ashram. Satyanandji made a public announcement during those days, with microphone and rickshaw, somebody is announcing. Today is a special satsang in premises of Kodar ashram. A very experienced monk will give a talk. All are welcome at this time. So ashram was packed. Gurudev is observing silence. And Gurudev is also eager to know which monk is coming. Do you know what happened? Swami Satyanandji told Gurudev to sit down here and give a talk. When Gurudev was describing this near me, I knew those who observe silence, what happens to them. Those who observe silence, they don't have the desire to talk. Words will not come out. Mind becomes so peaceful and calm. Thoughts don't come. I could easily imagine how miserable condition Gurudev would be having. But he told Gurudev, you speak, please speak more. And slowly his voice opened. He spoke. Everybody was thrilled. Meeting was over. Swami Satyanandji came to Gurudev's father, Sri Haripada Bhattacharya, told Haripada Babu, I am really proud of you for your son. He's such a bright, and you listen to his talk. Do you know what he told? He said in his speech, he committed 10 mistakes and all are big errors. What? 10 mistakes? Gurudev's father told, number 1, he did this. Number 2, he did this. Number 3, did this. Number 4, he did this. Number 5, 10 mistakes he pointed out. Swami Satyanandji looking at Sri Gurudev's father and telling, that is why your son is so great. It is true. The father was not proud, happy that my son, he was very meticulously observing, and which Gurudev used to tell often, mistake is not for mistake, it is for correction. Come back to this devotee who came with his problems. And Gurudev told, bring your astrological chart. I'll see if there is anything could be done. Gurudev looked at his chart and told him that do this. All these troubles will go away, but it is difficult. The person got benefits. His problem in job, he had a lot of money to get from the government as arrear. He came to Sri Gurudev and told that you give light to so many people, but you are staying in darkness. Do you know what was the darkness? there was no electricity in Kodar Ashram. Everywhere there was electricity. He said, I will take care of the total electrification. Gurudev said, thank you, but who will pay the electric bill? You will make the wiring and all these things and paying the electricity board, whatever caution money you have to pay, but who will pay the bill? We don't have money. And Gurudev lived in such a humble way, you cannot imagine. In Kodar Ashram, there was no refrigerator. There was no telephone. I have never seen my Gurudev reading a newspaper. Never. What is happening in the whole world, he knew. People might be telling, or he might be knowing in his own ways, God knows. But I have never seen in all these years, sometimes looking at the newspaper, no. I was telling in humor, I met another great monk of India. I met him personally. When I went to him, I was in my 20s. And he was a roaring, fiery lion. Can you imagine how many newspapers I saw on his table? Maybe 8 or 10? 8 or 10 newspapers. Wherever he traveled, his office traveled with him. So normally he used to write letters, camp, suppose Sutur, stenographer, typist, this, that, completely. And he was that type of Swami Chinmayananji, I'm talking about. On the contrast, I saw my Gurudev, nothing, no office. Can you imagine? My Gurudev saw there was some problem in one ashram. He wanted to show the resident that I know the problem. Because many times the residents, they think that nobody knows. Can you imagine? Gurudev got down at the train station all alone, carrying his own bag, hiring one auto rickshaw, sitting in the auto rickshaw and telling the auto rickshaw to stop by a roadside, restaurant, buying few pieces of chapati and it's 100 grams of milk cheese, carrying with him that when I'm going, there will be no food. And he knocked the door of the ashram's entrance, and there was a guard who did not know who Gurudev is. He didn't allow Gurudev to go in. And seeing Gurudev at this time, outside person, he stopped, he knew Gurudev. He told the watchman, open the door, he's our Gurudev. This is my Gurudev, who lived the life like this. And when I'm talking about Gurudev's coming to West, I brought this book to show you one handwritten letter, a copy of his hand. He has written this letter. This letter is printed, written in the year 1974. This letter is written in 1974. After going to West, staying few weeks in West, his guru is telling, come back to India. It is written in the letter. He is telling that how Sri Yukteswarji came to me and told me, come back. And then he is going to the airlines office during those days, 1974, requesting the airline staff. And do you know what happened? Gurudev told my mother, I need a ticket to go to India and I need it day after tomorrow. And that young lady in the counter was so upset, looking at an elderly man in his 67 years of age, bushy beard, gray beard, and calling her as mother. He said, sorry, I'm not married. And she was upset because if you address one young lady as a mother, Gurudev said, please don't be unhappy with me. I am an old Indian monk. In India, we address even the little girls as the mother. What do you need? Because she was not pleased. Said that Gurudev said, I need a ticket. Said, there is no aircraft is completely full. Gurudev is telling, my Guru has told me to go. Surely there must be a ticket. There must be a seat. I am telling there is no seat. Gurudev is telling, surely there is a seat. And Gurudev's voice had some impact on that lady. Wait, during those days, it was not computer searching. She had to look at the paper. He found, do you know what he found? He found that a person has cancelled his flight. One seat is vacant. He said, sorry, there is one seat vacant. And Gurudev is writing about the same incident in his own handwriting in 1974, in the month of July, writing in Germany during his first trip. Now to conclude this discussion, Gurudev went to West to fulfill the master's wish, not his wish, not his name. I don't know if you have seen the old gramophone company or HMV. In my childhood, there were two companies which were, one was HMV, the other one was Gathani. HMV, there was a puppy sitting near the microphone and his master's voice. Sri Gurudev's life is his master's voice. Gurudev's activities, his master's instruction. Gurudev's message is his master's message, nothing else. He was so devoted, dedicated, and personally, although he told me, sometimes he said, you know, I could not, I was so weak. Gurudev was so, like a child. He could tell everything, even which should not be spoken. And whatever he spoke to me, I cannot tell you also. He could speak with me, but I can't speak with you. You'll say, why? He spoke to you. Yes, he spoke to me, but I can't speak to you. He spoke all these things. Gurudev was telling that when he took leave from his job, not resigning, staying in Koraras from Puri, and extending his leave, sick leave. Because when you come on a leave and want to stay longer and longer, during those days, get a doctor's certificate that he's sick, he needs further treatment, and with leave application, you send this doctor's certificate. Months after months after months after months after months and months, he did this. Once he decided that I want to resign, no more. Do you know what happened? He wrote the resignation letter and went to the post office. In the post office, I don't know nowadays, during those days, registration counter was different. And he gave that letter. The letter was sealed and stamped. Gurudev was given the registration receipt. Then Gurudev said, I made a mistake. I should not have resigned. Do you know what Gurudev did? Gurudev told, can you return my letter? He said, no. It is already registered, it is stamped, and receipt is given. I resigned. I don't want to resign. I don't want to tell further. Gurudev was telling that was the human weakness, sense of insecurity, play of the mind, making me weak, although I took a decision that I want to resign. When Gurudev told him that you leave your job and stay in Korar Ashram, Yukteswarji, Gurudev was not ready. Guru knows this is your destiny, today or tomorrow you will do it. But Gurudev was telling, I could not follow him instantly. It took more than 2 years of time, and his wish fulfilled, not my wish or my expectation. Let us close our eyes for a moment. With deep love, let us think of our Gurudev and God. Let us pray to Sri Gurudev. I am your child, and I'll do my everything to grow up, to know you, to understand you, to live as you wanted me to live, to fulfill you, and that will bring fulfillment in my life also. Help me to understand my life better and allow me to follow you and follow your teachings in a practical way. Let us chant Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Purnamadaha together. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I bow to God. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation as the living presence of God and Gurus. Let there be peace, progress, and prosperity everywhere. Om.